don't need to feel any pressure. You do it, okay? But prostrations are just a way that we, in the Buddhist traditions, we do something to kind of like represents the purification. Because what we want is to purify, to clean our body, speech, and mind, because we have very strong negative tendencies, right? I think we all know that we have some sort of like negative patterns. Then we want to kind of like let it go of these negative ones, and we want to enhance the good ones as well, because we all know that we also have good ones. We cannot forget about this part, which we do sometimes. We forget about the good parts that we have. So what we're gonna do is that we do prostrations as a way to ask for, in a way of humility, as I always say, you know, for the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. But the Buddha doesn't mean a god. It's not someone out there that is going to come and wash away our sins and something like that. Not like this. So actually, the Buddha is just someone that represents the potential we have within ourselves. Is this idea that we all have the potential and the possibility of being completely free from our sufferings, our negative tendencies, and we can totally be perfect, we say, our qualities. The qualities of love, compassion, kindness towards all, not only, you know, family, friends, everybody. We can love everybody. So when we do that, we are doing it with this intention to say, well, right now I'm needing some help, you know, I need some possibility of working on my mind, opening my heart. So maybe the Buddhas who have done walk this path before, please come and help me. Just like that. When you want to learn something new, you go to your teacher, to a teacher, someone. No, you want to learn how to play guitar or something like this, another language. It's just like this. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay? So there's a mantra just behind the door for those that would like to sing it along. If you don't, just stay thinking about, may this the time that I'm gonna be here, may it be good, may it being something nice. Ooh, Venerable Cowden over there. I have another one, very good. So when we're gonna do the prostrations, we're gonna touch our the crown of our head to indicate that we have the potential to have all the qualities perfected. So that all our qualities become kind of like available for everybody. And that all our actions with our body, then we touch our forehead like this. It's better if I do it like this. The forehead like this, it means that we want to have all our actions with our body to be completely beneficial towards all beings. Our speech is so important, because our speech can sometimes be more problematic than our actions, right? We can make a lot of harm through our speech. So we want to clear and to make our speech be absolutely wonderful, melodious, beautiful, right? And our mind. Here represents the mind heart, we say in Buddhism. Say, heart, say. Okay? Om Namo Manju Shri Namo Su Shri Namo Dhamma Shri Soha. Om Namo Manju Shri Namo Su Shri Namo Dhamma Shri Soha. Om Namo Manju Shri Namo Su Shri Namo Dhamma Shri Soha. Oh, yes. Please have a seat. Dum, dum. A lot of new faces today. Who is new here? First time. Really? Wow. That's very nice. This is me.
This is your clone.
Oh no, they're gonna need to see me about this.
I forgot to brush your hair today.
Exactly. Can you hear me, online people? Nana, yes? Okay, very good. Okay, so as this is the first time, we start with a motivation. Okay? A motivation means that everything that we do in our lives with our body, speech, and mind, it's an action and there is a result. Normally, everything that we want, nobody wakes up thinking, I really want to suffer today, I really want to have a bad day and all of that. Nobody does that, right? We all wake up thinking, may I have a good day. Even if we are depressed, we want to have a good day. We might not know what good or bad is, or we might have a difficult understanding what that means, but we want that. But what we say in Buddhism that what is gonna bring about the result that we want? It's our intention. It's what we are kind of like motivating ourselves to. Because the intention sets, let's say, the direction of the result. So if we have a positive intention, that means that the result will be positive. It's a bit mathematical here, you know? So if you have a negative intention, that means you're going to have negative result. Or another way to say is that we say a positive intention leads to a pleasant or a happy experience. And a negative intention leads to an unpleasant or a suffering experience. Okay? So now we need to discover what means a bad and a good intention, or a positive and a negative intention. And that is based on what we call our, well, if we're going to think about it, it comes down to one thing, our heart. So are we doing something with the intention to open our hearts, to think about others, or we just being selfish and just wanting to think about me, myself, and I? Because if you think about it, the more we think only about me, the more suffering actually we ended up getting. Selfish attitude and very kind of like a mind that thinks me, I'm the most special, I'm the center of the universe, and I just want to have everything and I don't care about others. We already know when we are in this mindset, we are not okay, right? We can think, we can experience for ourselves. If I'm just thinking about me and I'm like, and I'm driving and then all of these people come in front of me, oh, these people, so it looks that the world is against us, right? You know what I mean? That when you are in this bad kind of like feeling of like me, I want this, but I need to get there before I need to do this. Your mind is already like, so then there's something there that is not really working. But if we start to observe our minds and observe that we want to be happy, we want people to be nice to us, we want to have like a good meal, we want to have a comfortable life. And for us to have that, we need others. We need people. We need animals, especially dogs, pets, right? Look at her, yes. That's what we need. So, funny enough, we think that if we think about ourselves, we're going to get happiness. But if we forget about others, we're going to get happiness. But what we want, all of the things that we want a good meal. Yes, of course, you can go to the supermarket and buy all your things and, and cook a good meal or go to a restaurant and pay for a good meal. But if there was no restaurants, if there was no people working in the restaurants, people that know what to cook, people that know what to buy, people that are actually working on a Sunday, for you to be able to eat out, people that are there buying, the products. Think about that. Think about the chain. of connections and dependency that we have for people. Have you thought about that? If you really start to think about that, we start to realize that, wow, we are totally dependent on others, on the kindness of others. And this is exactly the result that we want. We want people to be kind to us. But if we are just thinking about ourselves, how come? Nobody wants like a, you need to understand something about me, especially the new people. I'm not here to be so polite. Okay? So sometimes I'm gonna say some things that are gonna trigger you. That is exactly the idea. Okay? So if you think about it, we are not here, we are thinking about, yes, oh yeah, this everything. Oh yes, I want this, I want that. I just start to be so concentrated in my own mind that who wants to be around you? Who wants to be around someone that is only thinking about themselves? Oh me, oh yes, I am doing this. Oh yeah, how was your weekend? Oh, I did that. Me. You know. And how about you? What did you do? How was your weekend? Right? If you don't do that, people don't want to be around us. And we want people to like us. We want people to be kind to us. So, funny enough, the way to achieve that, it is being kind to them, being nice to them, thinking about them as well, which is the opposite of what we have now, which is the idea that if I only think about myself, I'm going to have what I want. So when we are trying to create a positive intention, all of these, as you can see, I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to come back. All of these for us to come back to what is a positive intention. And a positive intention means opening the heart, thinking about others. Thinking about others doesn't mean forgetting about me. Oh, no, I'm the worst. I don't need, no. No. But you start to add the needs of others as well. We can do that, when we are in a relationship. When we start a relationship, we start to see that we start to think about the other person as well. It's not just me, I'm hungry, I'm going to do this, I want to do that. Oh, sweetheart, what do you want to do? Right? Let's see, what do you want to do? And then you start to a little bit of a, how do you say, a conversation, And then you start to have children. So then you have to also add children into the mix. And you start to say, okay, now I cannot just do whatever we want, because now we have someone else that depends on us. Right? So families is a great opportunity for us to practice if you think about it. Very special. But we can do that even if we don't have families. We can do that with our colleagues, friends, people that we meet in our daily lives. You know? So that potential to open our hearts and to think about the kindness of others and what others want is there all the time. It doesn't need to be only the family, the friends, but everybody we encounter. We encounter people all the time. So we can try to do that. Okay? So before we start this turn, these 1.5 hours that we're gonna share here, we're gonna try to do a very short motivation. Okay? So we can create the intention to be here, not only for ourselves, not only because I want to feel good, I want to learn how to meditate, I want to learn about, this crazy like philosophy of Buddhism. I want to know what these crazy monk is doing here and talk. Yeah, but what are you gonna do with that? If you only use for you, for whatever you want, it's very short-sighted. And it's gonna finish very quickly. And then exactly, yeah. And then, but if you think about others, what I can use these to help others, wow, you're gonna live here with so much more enthusiastic and ideas and wanting to do something about it. Because it's not more only about you. It's like when you have a gym buddy, you go to the gym by yourself and you're like, okay, oh no, today I'm so tired. But if you have someone that is waiting for you downstairs and say, come on, let's go, you kind of like, you motivate yourself and you say, okay, I'll do that, right? I'll go and do that. So this is the idea as well, because what Buddhism is going to say, it's a philosophy that is almost like a mind training. It's a mind gym, right? So we'll instead of using kind of like a body gym, we are using a mind type of gym. That's what we're gonna do. And exactly like the one going to the gym, normal gym for the body, if you do only for yourself, then your motivation normally starts to become very dull, and then but Netflix, Instagram, and then much better, What if you think about like the more I develop myself, the more I improve myself, the more I open my heart, not only I bring happiness for myself and more peace and quietness, right? Absence of this busy mind that we have, but I'm able to help and be kind to others as well. So then it becomes even like stronger our motivation. Okay? So we try to do that. So let's just take a moment. It's just we can don't need to go into full meditation posture, but if you want, you can just close your eyes for a few moments, and we can just be aware of our body here. And we can check if there's any tension, if there's any blockage that we might feel. And we try to release, to relax it. And now we can just check about how is our mind? How is the state of our mind? What's going on inside of ourselves right now? And whatever it is that is happening, it's okay. No need to worry about it. Give so much attention as well, because it's going to change. So try to remind yourself the reason why you came here today. Why did you decide to wake up on a Sunday morning instead of going to the beach or stay at home? You came to this place. What motivated you? And whatever the reason is, the innate wish to be happy and to find ways to be less dissatisfied, find ways to find some peace, ways to deal with our difficult times is always there. And as we said, we can only think about ourselves and our wish to find happiness and this absence of difficulties, problems. But when we look around us, everybody in this room wants the same. Not only these, all the people that we know at home, families, friends, colleagues. Maybe they are going through some difficult situations. So it's easy to see that they also want that. Even the people that we don't know, but we cross in our lives, people at the supermarkets, at shops, and other places, they also want that. So we make a strong motivation and intention that whatever we do today, throughout this talk, whatever we listen, whatever we say, whatever we contemplate, meditate on, may it help us to not only achieve this more lasting happiness, but may we be able to help others to achieve the same. Then our motivation becomes bigger than us, becomes stronger. And we try to bring this motivation in whatever we do with our body, speech, and mind, also after this class, in our daily lives. And in the Buddhist tradition, the Buddhist philosophy, we do aspiration prayers, as we call, in order to help us increase this motivation, connect with this motivation, remind ourselves of this motivation. We're going to do that now, so we can open the books on page 35, 34, and 35, or you can just read it over there. So we're going to do a small little aspirational prayer. We are making an aspiration that is called the four immeasurables. They are four qualities of the mind that we can actually do that are, to be simple, they help us to open our hearts. That's what it does. That's what they do. They are called the immeasurables of love, love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. That's what they are. So we start with equanimity, with the idea that we are all the same in wanting to be happy and not suffer. So we're going to start on the first, just the first phrase of page 35 on top. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. Now we go to page 34, the four immeasurables, where it says, may all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. So this helps us to think about others whenever we are doing, whatever we are doing in our lives, and especially here. And now we go to page 98. And we're going to ask the Buddha, which is like the doctor, to help us to find a solution for our problems. But the Buddha, very smart, he said, I cannot help you if you don't do your own job. So then he taught the Dharma, or the teachings of the Buddha. So he said, the Dharma is like the medicine, but you need to take the medicine. I cannot force the medicine on you. And the assembly, the Supreme Assembly, it's actually at the nurses, or those people that have walked this path, to help, to encourage, to support you. on this path. So that's what we are doing. We are asking them to be our refuge, because we take refuge in so many things, in food, in Instagram, in Facebook, in what do you mean, drugs, alcohol, sex, everything, right? So now we are taking refuge in something that can help us to become better human beings, open our heart. So that's why we do that in the beginning, before the teachings, okay? To prepare our minds. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. So here we said, may I become a Buddha and enlightenment. In Buddhism, sometimes we have very funny words and we use a lot of words that they might not make any sense for people that started. So sometimes it's good. My mom the other day was saying to me, like, you need to explain these concepts, otherwise, moms, no, they're the best. Because I was talking about her in one of the talks. I think she didn't like so much. I think it was last Sunday, no? We need to put it online, but not allow her to go online to check the videos. But the thing is that, yes, when we talk about enlightenment and Buddha, we need to understand that this is just a mental state. It's not something out there, a place that we can go. We talk about nirvana. Sometimes, people hear about nirvana, about enlightenment, and they think about, I want to go there. It's not somewhere outside. It's a mind state. It's something that we can accomplish and achieve within ourselves. That is the beauty of it, because it becomes, in a way, much easier, right? Because it is within ourselves. But then there is the problem. It's because we have no idea what's going on inside of ourselves. We don't take time to look inside, to have a really understanding of our inner world. So that is already a bit difficult. We are very good at looking at outside, at looking for happiness outside, and to blame all our problems outside. No? Easy to see. You're not in a good day, something happened, it's everybody's fault. Your mother, your partner, your boss, your kid, everybody, right? But when we are also wanting to be happy, what do we want? A new car, a new house, a new job, a new partner, a new iPhone. That's what we want, right? Or a new scrolling. Oh no, the next one is gonna be, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, right? Or then we kind of like, oh, just one episode and another episode and another episode, right? We just grasp into that and nothing there, nothing there. We don't feel better as we thought that we were going to feel. We don't get that feeling of satisfaction that stays with us all the time, that we are kind of like blissed out, right? So that's what enlightenment and Buddhahood or becoming a Buddha means. You can achieve a state of mind that you're totally blissed out, that you don't need anything anymore. It's a lack of need. I don't need anything else. You know that feeling of being dissatisfied? That feeling of like, I have everything. I have a job, I have this, I have that, da, da, da. There's just something here that is just like, you know, still not there. I remember exactly 12 years ago, I used to work in finance, in investment banking. Yes, I know. We're going to talk about that one day, how these happened. But if you think about it, I remember that I had everything, you know, money, job, career. I was a partner when I was 24 years old. And I was so happy, you know? But it was a very temporary, very kind of like superficial type of happiness. It was always grasping and wanting to get something new, and then at some point I was just so tired because that feeling of dissatisfaction and something really meaningful was still missing. So I had to quit. I went for a 1 year sabbatical. It's been almost 12. Thankfully, they are not there waiting for me. They understood that I was not coming back. But if you think about it, it is something that I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew that I wanted some sort of satisfaction. And it took me a long time to understand that this type of satisfaction didn't come from outside, didn't come for things that I could buy on Amazon that could be delivered in 24 hours. I know it does sound appealing. It does sound like this, but I think we know for a little. If you all are here, I think you all know that doesn't bring that that type of happiness. It does bring satisfaction, right? And that's fine. And that's what we need to understand. I'm not saying that everything that we do to buy a house, to eat, to have a partner, to have like a career, money, all of this is bad. Not at all. That is not the problems. Those objects are not the problems. What is the problem is our wrong mind states that cling, that are attached, that believe that these objects can bring us a lasting, peaceful type of happiness. They can't. There's nothing wrong with them. It's actually quite unfair to them. If you think about relationships, you are like, oh, this person's gonna make me happy. Oh my God, yes. My brother just got married, and they were like so beautiful, happy. And I say, well, let's see in 5 years, 10 years, let's do that. Let's check in 5 years and 10 years how it is, right? Because the mind that is thinking that that person is gonna make me happy, that is the wrong aspect, right? So it's not fair with me because I'm wanting something. I want to be happy, long-term happiness. And it's not fair to the person. The person then becomes almost like a obliged to give what I want, how I want, when I want. Right? So then it's not really fair. So that is what the Buddhist teachings are about. It is about understanding the mind that wrongly apprehends things, that thinks in a way that is actually not based in reality. Because believing that those objects can bring lasting happiness is not possible. And one of the main causes because they cannot bring this happiness is because they are changing all the time. Nothing is permanent. I should rephrase that. There are some small things that are permanent, but they are quite debatable of what it is. For example, we say in Buddhism that the space is permanent. It doesn't matter if there are something there, if there's nothing there, it's always a space, never changing, right? This is an idea. But everything else, it is impermanent. For example, our bodies, right? We all here have been like that once. You see, we have all been that. How old is she? 8 months. 8 months. So we all have been 8 months. If we were permanent, we would stay like that forever, right? But we are not. We are changing. We are changing all the time. So we eat, we sleep, we do many things, we make caca, and do many things. And then we grow, we grow. And then we become like grandpa, you know? We start to become older and older and older till we die. So that is a perfect example that we are impermanent. We are ever changing. So the other aspect that we can observe is our mind. We wake up in a certain way and we stay in the same way during the entire day and we go to sleep with the same mindset, right? That's exactly how we are. Or we wake up in a certain way, sometimes good mood, sometimes bad mood, and then we go through a roller coaster throughout our day, and then we go sleep in a totally different mindset. I think the second option. I don't know you guys, but that I can totally relate to a roller coaster of my mind, right? Or a yo-yo mind. You know yo-yo? That thing that comes and goes. How it is. What we are doing. Our minds are creating those aspects of up and down, up and down, up and down all the time. So that shows that we are clinging to these objects of money and love and partnerships and material things as if they were not like that. We think that they should be permanent, so that means that they are going to be like that, and therefore they should fulfill all my needs forever in this way. No, like this. Not possible. But we think like this. We perceive like this, right? So then we get frustrated. We get dissatisfied. And then we get like, this thing. No, I know why. Because it was not this car. It was not that person. It was not this job. I need a new one. That is the fact. I'm so smart. I just didn't get it the first time. But now I got it. So what we do? We go again. And then we start again. The same cycle, right? And again, and again, and again, and again. From 8 months to 200 years, So that's what we do. We go like that, doing that again and again and again and again, like a loop, feeling dissatisfied, and then we try something else. Oh yeah, no, now I know what it is. No. And even we do that with Buddhism, with Dharma, we'd say, oh yeah, meditation, that's what it is, and then I sit down and say, okay, meditation is always going to be good, always have to be good, so then it's going to be always good. Then I meditate and my mind is like blah, 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 monkey mind going all over the place. I cannot meditate. I cannot stop my mind 1 minute to think of, to like stop my or observe my breath, and then I'm like, oh, meditation is no good, you know? Or we say, oh no, this is taking too long because Instagram said that meditation you can become good in 3 days, right? So then we start to not see things as they are. And because we don't see things as they are, we suffer. That is the big idea that the Buddhist philosophy is going to take about. It's going to talk about. And Buddhism is going to really make us observe our minds, observe the essence, the nature, is the logic of how our mind works. And for that, we need to go inside of ourselves and really check it out. And that is why it's difficult. Because normally, as I've been saying, what we have been trying to do is to not look inside. We've been trying to completely distract ourselves with these minds, with these things, with these objects, so we can not check why am I so dissatisfied? Why it is this hole or this feeling of frustration inside. So that's why we need to look at our emotions, how our mind works. We need to check what it is that is appearing in our minds and how they function. So, for example, we all know, what are kind of like different emotions that we can have. We can be happy, we can have like, sadness, we can be angry, we can be jealous, we can be pride, we can be, generous, we can be so many things. But what is that? How does they work? What are they? In Buddhism, we're going to say that we have two different types of emotions. Well, three. To be more correct. I was going to just make it easier, but not too easy. But normally we have positive ones negative one, and neutral. Okay? Positive ones, why are they called positive? What do they bring to us? This is a question. Happiness, joy. What else? Good feelings. Yes, very good.
Perhaps no negative.
Yeah, this is definitely the by the book answer. Doesn't create negative, perhaps not creating negative karma. Yes, karma is a big thing in Buddhism. We talk about all the time, and sometimes we use as excuses. Ah, this is just karma, or we don't know. We say positive karma or no negative karma. It's very funny. We use that. And what are then negative emotions? What are negative emotions? They cause suffering. What it means then, suffering?
Mental turmoil, uneasiness, dissatisfaction.
Yes.
And they're driven by intentions that are self-centered.
Yes. I like the what you said about turmoils. Like, this is exactly the word that is the negative emotions is a when Tibetan words in Tibetan translations, like in Tibetan from Tibetan to English. There's so many different words that we can use. And one of them that I like the most is disturbing emotion. Disturbing emotions is easier for me to understand because it says disturbing our mind. That's what they're doing. Then it's easier for us to say, ah, yeah, it's true. Yes. Because if you think about it, just observe your mind when you are angry. What happens? What happens to you when you're angry? Think about your body first. You start to sweat, you start to get, you get a bit like, the jaw starts to become, in the hands, and you become, and then, that's why in the cartoons, the fire, like you start to become red. The body already immediately reacts. You can feel the body reacting. Very easy. No? Then what happens with the mind? You start to lose completely logic of the situation. You start to see that person, you're driving so relaxed, coming to the Buddhist center on a Sunday morning, and someone just comes and cuts in front of you or honks for you and things like that. Immediately, easy, no effort. Immediately comes up, you know, you come and you start to immediately the mind starts, and then we start to think about, oh, because that person is that, blah, blah, blah. You start to immediately create negative images, negative ideas about the person, right? And this is anything. Someone says something to you, oh wow, you look so beautiful today, wow, nice haircut, everybody says that to me, oh, nice haircut. And then you're just there, and then what happens? Someone says the opposite, oh, you look a bit fat today, you look a bit bad today, you look a bit that. No, but immediately start to how to say uh, justifying yourself. You start to justify yourself. No, because and then you already start, this person, I don't like them, You start to go like this, right? So they are negative emotions because of that, because they disturb our mind, because they make our mind shaky and kind of like, as Anthony said, only thinking about me. Oh, they are talking about me, so I need to be. And you start to kind of like look for ways of creating. But there is one negative emotion that is quite hard to deal with. And it's the negative emotion that is there all the time. And it's called attachment. Why? Because we think that attachment is what makes us happy, right? If I'm feeling down, I'm not feeling well, or I get something, someone gives me a gift or so, I get happy. So how are you saying that attachment is something that is bad? If I get what I want, I become happy. That is why it's so hard for us to understand attachment. There's a very special nun. She's called Tenzin Palmo. An English nun, one of the first first Westerners that took ordination in the Tibetan tradition as a monk or as a nun. So we also have women that take ordination, and she stayed 12 years doing meditation in a cave in the Himalayas. Yes, without talking to anyone. She's absolutely special, very special person. And she says, yeah, everybody wants to hear and learn a little bit more about, kind of like, yeah, how to be less angry, how to have less jealousy, how to do this, but nobody wants to think about how, attachment. Nobody wants to talk about why, because attachment means that I'm not going to get what I want, right? Because the mind of attachment is exactly the mind of the 8 months-year-old. I want and I want it now. And I want for me. And we do. This is so ingrained. This is so like ingrained is a good word, in bad in our minds that we don't understand the possibility of living life without that. Because people say, if I don't have attachment, that means that life is not going to be good or nice, because we think attachment equals to, you know, and all the movies, all the stories, they are just there for make it perfect, Oh yes, when you find the right person, when you get the right job and you succeed in life, and yes, then you're gonna be happy, right? But then we get what we wanted, and then it's not there. No, no, no. It's just not. It's not because it's like climbing a mountain. You climb a mountain, and you say, no, no, it's not. Yes, I understand, but it's not this mountain. It was that mountain over there. And then you go again, and you climb the mountain. You arrive over there, and you see it, and you think you got it, and someone says, attachment comes from behind the rock and say, oh yes, you like it, but now I know. Yes, I know they're feeling a little bit. Don't worry, you didn't get. It's just because you didn't climb the right mountain. That's what we do. So an attachment goes doing these like this with us all the time. And we just go jumping and going and wanting and more and more and more and grasping and grasping and grasping and grasping. So what is attachment for you? Give me an example. I was going to do small groups today, but I think maybe it's going to be too much complication. Especially the young people the new people might get a bit awkward. Also, we have many people online. I don't know how to do it. Can we do it online? Divide people in group?
What will be good for let them chat. I'll disconnect the audio.
So let's do that. So let's take a few moments. So we're going to do 2 questions. What is attachment? So we're going to divide. Let's say, I don't know how many people. This group here and this group here. Okay? And we're going to take 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, 10 minutes to talk about what is attachment for you. Okay? To try to understand, to try to just kind of like get a discussion on what is attachment. Okay? And then you guys online, you do that as well. You guys think about it. What is attachment? Yes, we are dividing groups of 10 to discuss what is attachment for you. Yeah, you see, these guys great. Okay, let's do it. Come on. Like this is me being lazy. Then I don't need to
We lost the sound. I'm not sure if it's intended. Okay.
Online people, you need to discuss over there, okay? I don't see anyone discussing. Nana, I count on you. Lucas, Shari, John, Jackie, Mary. Come on.
Some
really hard, but I think really profound of this technique.
bring me happiness.
You know.
Okay, well, I'll jump in. Somebody needs to say something. We've been being given instructions by our teacher that we're supposed to be discussing this. So I'll go first. I think they say that in Buddhism, attachment is the root of all suffering. Whether he just said that or not, I know I've heard that before. And attachment actually is a very painful place. I know me personally, when I'm attached to something, it's no pun intended, but it's attached to a lot of agitation, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, because basically what's behind it for me is if I don't have that anymore, what's going to happen? What's going to be left? And what kind of feelings am I going to encounter as a result? So, and it's funny because me personally, I don't even like to think about it. There's a lot of things I'm attached to. And part of my mind kind of enters into it. I'm aware that I'm attached. And then I try to push it out of my mind because it's almost so painful to imagine not having whatever I'm attached to that I can't even go there. So then it's something I'm avoiding, like the notion of it. So, all right. So that's what I got.
Thanks, Sherry. That was beautiful. And I just wanted to share that.
Who's speaking, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah, what did you say?
I just wondered who was speaking. Is this Arpita?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying what you just said was so powerful. And I've been really struggling with an attachment to food. Like I tried going vegan 2 months ago. And since the 2 months that I started, I realized my attachment for meat and cheese was so strong that I started over ordering from the restaurants because of my strong attachment. I'm not sure like what's going on, but does anyone have any recommendations or insight into like why is the attachment to food so strong for us human beings, and why is it so difficult to switch from a certain pattern of eating? Because I've eaten meats and cheeses and everything, milk my whole life, but milk I can't digest. I mean, some cheeses I can, not all cheeses, but like mozzarella I can digest. But does anyone know what is going on? Like, why is it so hard? I would really appreciate if anybody can give me insight into this type of attachment.
I understand you completely. And they say that we're in the desire realm, so we're actually, the attachment is the energy that drives us. This is how Venerable Rabina is teaching. And attachment to food is, I don't know, like primary maybe. One of the first. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying on purpose, not giving myself what attachment wants. Like I want milk, but I'm not gonna get any milk. I'm gonna make it myself, so I'm not, not giving it, not give it to attachment. And it's, it's just like Sherry said, it's painful. It's really painful because you want it. So you go, you be strong. You can do it.
Yeah, I also think we can't downplay the struggle. We have to give ourselves grace. I mean, when it comes to food, food is primal. It's survival. And like you just said, it's probably the first attachment that as human beings we all have. We need nourishment. We need to, and then our pita, as you said, it's very, very difficult. Well, this is probably something that it's been a lifetime, maybe lifetimes plural, that you've had this attachment to meat and dairy. So it's, we have to kind of step back and look at the significance of something that we're trying to give up. It's, that's a huge thing.
What's baffling to me is the lack of self-love or something that's going on here, because my symptoms come out. Like I've had some pain in my left ovary that the doctor thinks is directly connected to this type of eating, especially meats. I turned out to be extremely sensitive to pretty much all kinds of meat. And the wheat gluten I don't care, but the meats, and I know that, and I still indulged in it yesterday, not even like home cooked, but from a restaurant, which also has seed oils that my body can't tolerate. And I am so puzzled by this behavior. I do have a deeper issue as I'm talking to you guys. My brain is actually working better right now than it was yesterday. I mean, my parents abandoned me and disappeared on me after my divorce. And that's when I developed the attachment to food, and gained like 50 pounds. Like, I know it was that because I gained the 50 pounds in the 5 years following, after they left me. But I don't know, maybe I just need to work with a counselor or a psychologist. I don't know what's going on, honestly, but thanks, Sherry, for recognizing that it's primal, and Deepa, that it's soothing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm stumped.
And then as you're revealing the emotional trauma behind it, it's your security. You need security because you just said yourself, it all started when you went through the abandonment. So yeah, it's a very, very deep wound for you. So don't downplay that. Give yourself a lot of love and grace and sensitivity, and it's bigger than you realize, and bigger than most of us have.
Right. It's almost like I'm telling myself that I should abandon myself too, to make my parents, so I can still continue to love my parents in spite of what they did to me. So if they don't care for me, I don't care for me, because my symptoms, I couldn't sleep last night. The pain in my left ovary was so bad. I got up finally at 3 a.m. and I took a leave, like almost 400 milligrams of Aleve, and then went back to sleep. But that's not good, you know?
It can be nourishing, I think that you should nourish yourself, be kind to yourself and love yourself. And if your parents doesn't talk to you for some reason, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or did something bad. It's just, it's happened right now. That's it. You're a good person.
Right. Well, they didn't want me getting divorced because my brother, I was in a domestic violence situation, so that I didn't have an option but to flee with my 2 kids. So I literally packed my bags in the middle of the night, took my 2 kids, one in each arm, and fled the house. And I went to the nearest shelter home and lived there in hiding until I could figure out what to do with my life and how to protect myself. But I was going to die there. And my parents didn't understand any of this. And they were like, your brother is going to have a hard time finding a wife now because you're a shame on the family. And then after that, they stopped talking. Everybody stopped. My brother told me clearly, like, our parents don't want to talk to you. So, yeah. And funny thing, I always order the dish that is my dad's favorite, which is really weird. You know, I eat the same stuff that my dad eats.
You're looking for that connection, Arpita.
And I think you did a very right thing.
Mm-hmm. Be compassionate with yourself, first and foremost.
Yeah. If Venerable Rubina would be here, she would be just saying, keep moving, just keep moving. Never give up, never give up, never give up. You're doing everything right. Make yourself some good soup.
That sounds great, actually. Some soup sounds good. And I'm not going to force myself to give up meat. I mean, even though now it's come down to the point where it's really affecting my health, it wasn't affecting my health. My body is rejecting it. So, yeah, I know this is really hard, but it is very painful. And the pain and attachment is way deeper for me personally. I have signed up for a 3-month class with this organization called Sharon, and they help you go vegan. I signed up like 2 weeks ago, but I haven't even opened the class yet. I'm supposed to sign in and create a register and stuff like that. I still haven't done all of those things, but I paid for it. So I think that's where probably my answer is. And I really appreciate you guys being here today for me after what I went through last night. I feel supported here. So thank you.
I'm glad you're here. Just like he said, we need each other. You need people.
Hello, online people. You guys had a good discussion? Yes?
Yeah.
Sorry if I interrupted someone. But did you guys had a good time? Yes? I think that next time we just stay in discussion groups. No need for blah 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 from Cowden. Maybe better.
We kind of like blah blah from Golden.
We got like blah blah. Very kind, very kind. Okay, so who wants to share what you guys discussed? Something that kind of like came to you, something that was interesting. Someone wants to share something?
Big group, so a lot of the nice thoughts, but some highlights are kind of debating what's what's attachment and what is love, right? In different definitions.
Very good.
Everyone has different ways of defining
Yes.
things too, but I think we all came to an agreement that if the love or the strong feelings toward the object are so strong that you can't move on, or that your happiness depends on it, like completely, then it's dangerous, right? And then
So then is love or is attachment?
it's attachment.
Oh, okay.
I think but we all have different terms for that. You know, clinging, what was supposed to be
Clinging,
as well.
yes.
We talked about the middle way, right? Because you also don't want to be so detached that you tell your family, hey, feed yourselves. I'm practicing non-attachment. So
I love it. I love it.
That's not detachment.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I love that. These
Spiritual
extremists,
attachment.
these extremes. This is just an extreme, which is normal because we are extreme people, right? We are very extremists. It's just like we go from 8 to 80, and we always kind of like cling to the extremes and we think, oh yeah, this is what is going to be. But even the Buddha with the story of the Buddha, I don't know if everybody knows a bit, but he also, like, he was a prince in this beautiful palace, and then he left, and then he went into kind of like, oh yes, strong asceticism. I'm not gonna eat, I'm not gonna move from here, and he realized that also this didn't work, right? So it is but we need to be careful when we use the word middle path as well, because it's a very different definition of what we use in Tibetan Buddhism. But yes, it is a path of balance, of understanding the mind, right? So, okay, anyone online wants to share with us what you guys discussed or something interesting?
I think Sherry, do you want to go ahead?
Oh, I just shared about how to be attached is so painful.
Very good.
And even when you realize what you're attached to, the thought of giving it up is so absolutely terrifying.
Great.
That I don't know what's more terrifying, the thought of giving it up or actually maybe doing it. So sometimes it's easier to just avoid it.
Yes. Perfect. Very good. Very, very good. Who agrees? Who or how to say identifies with what you would say? Yes. Yeah, thank you so much, Sherry. This is very nice. That's what it is, isn't it? Attachment is exactly like this. It's just like sometimes it's so hard for us to allow or to think about letting it go that it's just easier to just pretend it's not there or avoid it, which is we are champions at doing, no, suppressing, just pretending it's not there. We just put it to the side. We just kind of like, smile and then like everything is okay. And then like, and this is just starting to boil, and then we just do and more, and then we just go more and more and more, and it just goes worse, and then just gets worse until boom, we explode, right? And we explode sometimes outwards, but many times we implode, right? And then we have strong depression, we have strong kind of like mental health crisis. Sorry? Resentment, exactly. Yes.
So, talk about action. We don't really talk about unconditional love.
Yes.
That's isn't it kind of a blending
Yes.
of the love and the negative emotions. Yes, when you truly have no quid pro quo, unconditional love, you're not going to be passionate, correct?
Yes. So he's saying, just for the people online, so he's asking about unconditional love and attachment and if they can kind of like coexist. Is that yeah? Yeah.
Is you have unconditional love, there is no.
There's no attachment. Yes. Yes.
When we talk about self-love
Yes.
and unconditional love,
Yes.
there is.
There's no attachment. That's it.
You're saying yes?
Yes, I'm saying yes to that. Yes, because they are totally opposite mindsets, and they cannot coexist. And
You unconditionally love your pet,
yes,
and will do no matter what. You will always love that pet. I mean, you're not attached to that pet.
no, very different things. Yes, yes, definitely. Because that is the beauty of it. Because it was exactly what we were talking about before about what is the definition. And this could be another question for us to discuss next time. What are positive emotions and what are negative emotions? Because that is exactly what is based on. Negative emotions, they are based on something that is not real. It's not based in what we call and what we explain in Buddhism reality. That's a big word because reality can mean so many things, but especially these ideas that I explained of impermanence, being impermanent, and being dissatisfactory by nature. It is a dissatisfied by nature, right? That means that attachment clings to an object, believing that its qualities either which are not even there, so we are completely projecting qualities into an object that are not even there. This is one of the characteristics of attachment. And the second characteristic is that then we cling to those characteristics, to those qualities, as if it was there, but if it was going to bring us happiness. So these can never bring about what we actually want because it's not true. It's not based in reality because it's not based in understanding. Because when we cling to a pet, for example, when we have an attachment to a pet or to someone, we don't want that pet to die. And that is not possible because that is against reality. Because reality means we all gonna die. In 100 years, well, maybe 101, we all here in this room are gonna die. I'm gonna be dead. So if you attach to a pet and you understand, or do you don't think that the pet should die, this is attachment. Attachment, it's a projection. It's kind of like a illusion. It's decoration of the mind. I like this. Lama Zopa used to use this word. It decorates the mind, right? It's very good because it makes so much sense if you think about it, because it's putting qualities and it's putting aspects that are not there. We think that those qualities, maybe even we put more qualities than it has, or the qualities that we think that the person or the situation or the pet have, it's never going to change. It's going to be there forever. So then there's no other result from that than suffering. Love, completely different. Love is wanting the other to be happy. So love is based in understanding interdependency. As we explained, interdependency, if you think about it, it's a characteristic of our reality. We are dependent on others. We are dependent on others for our food, for our shelter, for our clothes, for our music, for our movies, for our Instagram, for our everything. We are dependent on. So this is a condition, a characteristic of reality. So if I want others to be happy, that means that that situation, it is based in reality because it depends on each other, right? And love, does an unconditional love, especially when we say about it, unconditional love, which is actually the only type of love that actually is, but we use love equal as attachment in our daily lives, but unconditional love, which is the only real love, I don't want to use the word real, but loved as it is, it's always unconditional because understands that I want you to be happy even if you don't give me anything in return. I want you to be happy even if I am suffering. I want you to be happy even if I die. Do you understand how love is the opposite mindset of attachment? Love is something that actually um, free us and the other person. Attachment does the opposite, kind of like enslave our mind and enslave the other person, because it's conditional. It's conditional up to the point that you do whatever I want and how I want and that way and but it's completely conditional. And the beauty when we go in and study, because the Buddhist philosophy, we can kind of like divide, normally the Dalai Lama likes to divide it in three ways, but especially what we call the science of the mind. And the science of the mind, that we go very into details on how the mind works, right? Like a science, really. You go kind of like dissecting, the mind, and really kind of like, like that, right? So you can see that the mind, what we call the consciousness, emotions, feelings, and in certain ways, apprehends one object at a time, engages with one object. So that means you cannot have two feelings happening at the same time towards an object. Oh, of course, it happens very fast. We can be love, attachment, love, we get lost. And then normally attachment comes and like stays longer. Why? Because it is spontaneously easier for us. What is our status quo? Is someone screams at you, anger spontaneously arises. You see something beautiful, you smell something nice, you hear something that you like, immediately, effortlessly, attachment arises. It's just who we are, where we are at. That's it. It's not something that I'm kind of like trying to create or anything like that. Observe in your own experience. You know how immediately you already start, oh yes, this music is amazing, and then it like reminds me of this, or oh, I want to do that, or you already start, oh, I'm so hungry, I want to eat, and I'm gonna eat this entire chocolate, and it's gonna make me so happy. You eat 3 pieces, and you're already like, and then you eat the entire chocolate, then you have pain in the, stomach pain. If it was happiness, it would, if it was love, it would never stop going, it would never go away. Not like that. It changes. So attachment results in suffering. That is the difference, right? So that's why when we have an attachment to our pet, when our pet dies, we suffer. It doesn't mean love, that if someone dies, we don't feel, oh, wow, that person died. Yes, it's okay. Don't think here that like feeling emotions truly, it means that you become a robot. Oh yeah, that person died. Okay, good. If you really meet those enlightened beings, or beings that have transformed their hearts, like the Dalai Lama, like Lama Zopa or Lama Yeshe, or all of these teachers, you see that they are quite the opposite. It's so warm. They are so raw in their emotions that is contagious. You look into their eyes and you feel love in a way that is absolutely like unconditional. I still remember first time I met the Dalai Lama, the way he looked inside my eyes, he loved me more than I loved myself. And I am not a person that has problems with low self-esteem. Quite the opposite. But it was just because he saw right through me. It didn't matter that I had all of these crazy mindsets, all of those negativities, all of these attachments, all this anger. He knew that deep down there is a love, a potential to love, to have unconditional love towards everybody. So that is what we have inside of ourselves. Love, compassion, kindness, generosity, patience. We all have that exactly as it is right now within ourselves, all of us. No, but you know, maybe Joe Biden, Donald Trump don't have. No, they don't have. No, no, no. They also have. You know, they Putin also has. Everybody has. The problem, it's covered by these spontaneous negative emotions that we have: attachment, anger, jealousy, pride, right? So they don't allow us
Anger, jealousy, pride, insecurity.
Yes. So then that means that we cannot, doesn't, it's creating in our minds an obstacle, something that is kind of like covering the potential we have within ourselves. That is why they are also called negative emotions or disturbing emotions. They are kind of disturbing us. They are the biggest obstacle that we have from opening our hearts, from loving every single person, every single animal in an unconditional way. To be kind to others in an unconditional way. To be compassionate, to be generous without wanting anything in return. That is the potential that we all have right here and right now. We can all develop that. We can all manifest this. Because these emotions, as we can see, they are negative, but they are just like clouds in the sky. They don't stay with us. They are not one with, we say, in our own nature. Our own nature is peace, love, compassion, kindness. It's pure. So we can manifest ourselves from there and stop identifying with these clouds. Stop in thinking that when it's raining, because normally that's how it is the mood within ourselves, that, oh, that is the sky. The sky is always black and cloudy, and no. The sun is always there. The sky is always there. So we can do that. We can develop and expand our love, our unconditional love towards all. But we need to start with ourselves. We need to start with loving every part of ourselves, loving all the aspects, all the clouds we have within ourselves. Because they are not there because we are bad people. No, that's normally what we tell ourselves. Oh, I'm bad. Oh, I didn't do this. No, we start to beat up ourselves. I didn't do this right, or I didn't get what attachment wanted, so I get angry because I didn't do enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. And then anger comes, and then we become snappy of others, and we become right, or we become sad because we become sad with ourselves, thinking that we are not good enough, and then anger towards ourselves becomes depression. That's what depression is in Buddhist terms. Anger towards yourself. And anger towards yourself is not understanding, believing, and connecting with this inner goodness, this potential we have within ourselves. We can develop a good heart. We can develop our positive emotions in unconditional, infinite ways until it is completely towards all sentient beings, towards all sentient beings equally. And because we see that then attachment, anger, jealousy, confusion, it's not one with our minds. It's just like the clouds. I can make them stop. I can completely eradicate them. I can only have sun shining. That's why we are in Florida. Because that's where we take. We come here for that. That's why we can do that. So that is the Buddhist path. That is what the Buddha not created. He identified by experiencing by himself, by looking within himself, and he realized his own nature, and he said, wow, the mind has these negative emotions, but they can let it go. I can allow them to let it go. I can cut them to never come back again. And I can develop all my good qualities in an unconditional, unlimited way. So that is what is the potential we have. That is what we are trying to bring about. And for that, we need to study, we need to contemplate, we need to meditate. All of these are kind of like tools that the Buddhist path brings as a possibility to help us develop ourselves. Just that. It's in a way quite simple, but quite profound. And because it's profound, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of honesty, and a lot of effort and enthusiasm. Because these mindsets, as I said, they're so ingrained that it's so hard for us to not allow it to immediately come up, you know? That in the beginning, when someone comes and touches you in front in the car, you know, and when you're driving, instead of coming that anger, you need to make an effort for developing compassion towards that person, for developing patience, for developing love, kindness. In the beginning, yes, but like everything else we do, it takes, the more we do it, the easier it becomes. No, if you're learning something new, yes, but with time, it becomes easier. No, yoga, in the beginning, we're like, and now, then it becomes easier. Another language, an instrument, anything. Knowing how to use these crazy technologies, right? So that's the same with the mind. That's the same with our good qualities. Becomes easier to become compassionate, easier to become loving, easier to become kind, easier to not be angry, easier not to be impatient, easier not to respond with jealousy. That is. Okay? So that's the idea. That is what we do here, or we try at least. That's what we kind of like do the classes for, because we all need to remind ourselves of this, because our daily lives are very busy and we think that we don't have time and all of that. But yes, it's good if you can sit down and just connect a little bit with that potential. But you need to remind that in everything that you do. That becomes real meditation. Meditation means familiarization. Familiarize yourself with what? With positive mindsets. And the most positive mindset you can familiarize yourself with, it's your own good nature and your own potential to expand this good nature, this good heart, as the Dalai Lama says, towards others. Okay? You bring that throughout your day. So every time we finish an activity as well, in Buddhism, we say that it's very important that we do a dedication. A dedication is like that we are kind of like not wasting that energy, that potential, that positive energy that we created. We want it to not only help us to continue now planting and nourishing these seeds that we created here together, but especially that it help us throughout our day to remind us. Like a seal, we are sealing it with the intention to make these positive, right? So whatever we have done, whatever we have learned or heard, first, don't believe in anything I say. Experience and check for yourself. Very important. If it makes sense, then you can use it. Then you try to check how it helps you. But the most important is everything that we have done. Don't try to make it only for you to feel good. That is too much, too short-sighted. But think about how by developing and opening your heart, you can help others to do the same. And in this way, all of this incredible suffering we have right now in the world, all of the wars, all of the economic problems, all of the conflict, all of the famine, all of the situations, sickness, illness, all of this, it's our way of helping. Because if we use our minds in a positive ways and we help others to use their minds in positive ways, then negativities don't come. And there's no jealousy, there's no anger, there's no wars, there's no problems. Because all of these comes from these mindsets, right? All of the problems we have in the world comes from these negative mindsets. So whatever we do, we try to do in a positive way. So we dedicate for everything that we created here together and individually to be for this end, to accomplish this. Yes, yeah, exactly like that. She knows exactly. Effort. We need to put effort in whatever we do to be able to bring about this result. Okay? So we're gonna do some dedication prayers, as we say. So that is the idea when we're gonna do them. So I don't even know what page we are. 235 if you want to use the book. The people here in the you had a question, I forgot.
I was just going through.
Yeah, okay, you tell me now. 235. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase more and more. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, I too dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praises the best by the victorious ones thus gone of the 3 times, so I might perform good works. I dedicate whatever virtues I have ever collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of perfect pure Lasandrapa to shine forever. And then we go to page 244. No, 46, 46, 246. First, and then Nana, please. Yeah, 246. Yes. So Shantideva's 246. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain a notion of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food, may the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. So now we're going to dedicate for the long life of our teachers, because without them, we would not even know what is about the mind, about the heart, about, these negative emotions. And especially we are so fortunate to live in an age where someone like the Dalai Lama is alive, someone that has, so many qualities and brings so much peace and harmony for the entire world because of his ways of being and doing things. And it's such an inspiration, not only for Buddhist people, but for so many people, of a way of, developing the mind and opening the heart and finding harmony. So we dedicate for His Holiness to have a long, stable, and healthy life, and to continue being a beacon of light in this world. So we go to page 244. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. And now, because this center was created by Lama Yeshe and Lama Zopa Rinpoche, these incredible teachers from Tibet, well, Rinpoche was from Nepal, and they tireless for more than 40, 50 years. They went around the world teaching the Dharma, teaching Buddhism, meditation for us Westerners that we didn't know about it, and has been so beneficial to so many people, so many thousands and thousands of people that benefited, for their teachers, for their teachings. And Lama Zopa Rinpoche passed away, showed the aspect of passing away last year. And in Buddhism, we believe in reincarnation, and we believe that he's going to come back for continue his services to benefiting others. So, but for us, we need to create the causes and the conditions for that to happen. So we also going to ask him, to come back. So we're going to do a prayer for his return, composed by the Dalai Lama. Fearless teacher, page 300, 240, no, 34, 234, 234. Some places that I think that they put it at 234 on the screen as well. Fearless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Lodzen, father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Spreading the teaching, complete teachings through explanation and practice, you are the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable venerable Guru, to you I make request. So striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious ones' teachings, so they get raised to it, all benefit and happiness emerge. And for mother living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the oceans of the three jewels and the great ways of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. So thank you very much, all of you as well, for being here, for coming, for hanging in there, for listening to this blah blah blah, and all the people online. Thank you so so much. It's so great that we are able to do this together, so thank you, and I hope that this has been beneficial for you and that you can use it in your daily life to bring even more peace in this world. Okay? Yes, and next week, after the class, we have a potluck lunch. Normally, we do outside over there. We not outside of the aircon. Don't worry, we still have aircon. Yes, we do. So you can bring any vegetarian dish or anything like that. It's very nice. We eat quite a lot, and then we have fun and we talk, and then we do some things. And also, of course, if you go on the website, we have meditation classes Mondays and Wednesdays. We have a Spanish class en español los miércoles, ¿no? Miércoles. We have one, and then on Thursdays we have a more advanced class. It's not so much because I don't know much, so it's not so much advanced. So, but we do that, and then on Sundays we have the teachings. Okay. So thank you so much. Hope to see you all again. Have a good Sunday. Okay. Thank you.